Apparently, Clark Kent is a terrible reporter. Spoilers if you haven't seen Superman. Last week I did a breakdown of this interview between Lois and Clark, and I pointed out some of Clark Kent's flaws, which is okay. It's the reason why I love this character so much. But I got a lot of pushback from the analysis of this conversation. There's so many people who felt like Clark's naivety is the reason why he lost his temper during this interview, and that Lois wasn't being fair. While I do think there's a piece of that is true, the suggestion that Clark, a journalist for at least 3 years, who had to have gone to college for this and has known Lois for an extended period of time, was completely thrown by surprise because he never thought someone would question his actions, suggests that he's a terrible journalist. And at first I was really defensive against that implication, but when I thought about it, I thought, man, that theory has legs. Just like in Matt Reeves' world, where Robert Pattinson's Batman was a terrible Bruce Wayne who didn't know how to use his money and status to help the city of Gotham, this Clark is a terrible journalist and writer who doesn't understand the industry at all or how he can use his writing to help other people. Think about it. The moment he walks into the Daily Planet, he's holding an article that he wrote himself and is immediately accosted by Steve Lombard, who is helping him with grammar. The sports writer is telling him, hey, your writing is not that dynamic. And then Lois pulls up and also says, I cannot get through your writing, Clark. It's terrible. Something that he jokes about later in their house. And she's like, no, I was not joking. You're a terrible writer. And even during this interview, while Clark is getting flustered, Lois is explaining the basic standards of having an interview with a reporter. She has to tell him that he has to verbalize being off the record if he doesn't want something in an article. And throughout the interview, even though I do agree towards the end, she starts to get petty, it feels like she's educating him. She's like, no, this is a natural line of questioning. Whether or not I knew the answer, this is what I would ask next. Clark gets defensive during this interview, not just because she's questioning his actions, but also because he's never been a part of a real interview or conducted one, apparently. Because prior to this, all of his articles was essentially him writing a blog post. Which is crazy when you think about it, because what that means is that Clark Kent has gotten by off of handsome tax and nepotism because he knows Superman. And I think that that's an interesting theory because that could also be the reason why Lois is unsure of their relationship. As I mentioned before, maybe she does harbor just a little bit resentment towards Clark because things come so easy to him. His terrible articles are consistently being put on the front page because he says he knows Superman. And this interview was a chance to show him what journalism really is like. And I'm hoping between that interview and the Daily Bugle's contribution to taking down Lex will inspire Clark to become a better journalist. Tell me, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in my comments below.